Hey everyone, Tech Gamer here. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how you can quickly and easily acquire the Paraglider in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild while playing it on Master Mode. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, so let's get to it. Okay everyone, welcome back. So here we are in Master Mode in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We're going to go ahead and start up a new game here. I'm going to show you how easy it is to get the Paraglider in Master Mode. I should be able to get to the Paraglider without having to kill a single enemy. So Master Mode is insanely difficult compared to normal mode, obviously, as the name implies. Guys are a lot harder, Guardians regenerate, and just the game in general is just very difficult. But we're going to give it a shot anyway. So there's some tricks you can do to avoid having to actually fight anyone at the onset of the game. So I'll go ahead and show you that. Just have to wait through the intro here.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
In case anyone's not familiar with the backstory, Link perished 100 years ago defending the castle from Ganon's minions, and he was killed by a guardian, and Zelda's guards took him to the Resurrection Temple, and now 100 years later he's been brought back to life, but he has no memories of his past. So we have to go up and get the Sheikah Slate.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It
That's
will help
Zelda's
guide you
voice
after your long
we're
slumber.
hearing. Mysterious tablet with a glowing center. You've never seen this device before, but yet it feels familiar. That's because it is. So now we go ahead and exit the Resurrection Temple. We can pick up these treasure chests on the way here. Go ahead and put these clothes on. So whenever you see something like this, you have to hold the Sheikah Slate up to it.
To the pedestal.
You see these at temples and on
Show you
towers.
the way.
Link hasn't seen the sun in like 100 years, so it makes sense that his eyes are...
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
Zelda basically guides you through the entire game. So we have to remember that this is Master Mode, so you're going to see me avoid enemies whenever possible, because fighting them is just insanely difficult, and you don't actually get a whole lot in return from fighting them. So we'll mostly avoid enemies at this point in the game. I typically don't fight anyone until I get off the Great Plateau, which is where we're at right now. There's the Temple of Time and the old man. So the first thing we want to do is pick up this tree branch here, just so we have some sort of weapon. And I like to forage whenever possible for food, because I'm going to need it when I go to the colder areas of this game. And there are 2 areas that you have to run through the cold. So as you can see, there's lots of Hylian shrooms hanging around. These things are great for health recovery. This tree up here has apples hanging from it, so I'm going to go score some of these. A little bit of a pain to get, but they're worth it. Now I could just chop the tree down, but I don't really have a weapon yet. There's an axe up here I could get, but I can just climb up and get the apples out of this tree here. Ah, that's good enough. This old man will guide you through the beginning parts of the game here. So we have a baked apple. And if we take and hold some of these, we can actually cook them next to the fire here. So if we just throw them down, they'll actually catch on fire, and then we have to just wait a minute. And now we have toasty Hylian shrooms, so this increases the recovery rate of the food when you cook it. So there's 2 ways to cook food in this game. One is you can cook it on a fire, just like I'm doing, or 2, you can cook it in a pot or a dish. Certain areas of the game have those hanging around, and you actually get them later on too. But right now I'm just going to cook them next to the open fire. So we've got a woodcutter axe here, just in case I run across any enemies. There is a Korok seed right here, and if we just jump down through, this is the first one, so he talks a little more than the rest. There's a traveler's sword up there, but I'm not going to bother getting it. I apologize if you guys hear me cough a lot. I'm getting over a sinus congestion. So we've got some enemies down there.
Link.
But Zelda's talking to us again, giving us a direction of where to go. So I actually know where to go already. I'm just going to follow, but I'll go ahead and show you here anyway. So we need to head towards that flashing area, which is already pinpointed on our map. So basically you just want to keep it directly ahead of you and just head towards it. Obviously, again, avoiding enemies wherever possible. If you check out the Decayed Guardians underneath, they usually have ancient springs, gears, or cores. Usually they're springs. And we'll go ahead and avoid this guy. Those are great to collect because you'll need them later to trade for better weaponry and armors. So I always try to pick them up wherever possible. So we're going to go ahead and straight up ahead here to the first tower. They've got some food cooking on the campfire there. So these guys, if you want to mess with them real quick, you can push his boulder off, and it causes that to happen. But again, because this is master mode, they recover. So we're going to go ahead and just avoid them. Same thing for these two guys. They see me, but I should be alright just to run. Go ahead and go around the long ways here. And we need to activate this pedestal. This actually will cause all of the towers to rise up out of the ground. I like the detail that they put into the cutscenes. Link has no idea what he's doing, and he's just guessing as he goes. You can see all the various towers rising up around the world here. The Great Plateau Tower has been activated, and what it will do is provide a map of the Great Plateau into our Sheikah slate so that we can see where we're going. This will become important when we need to find the temples. And later on, as we collect and visit other towers and distill the runes into them, the maps become available for the other areas in this game. But right now all our focus is on is getting off the Great Plateau. Here comes another cutscene.
You have been asleep for the past 100 years. The beast. When the beast regains its true power, this world will face its end.
I'm definitely impressed with the story of Breath of the Wild.
Now then,
The storyline is great in this game, and
you must hurry.
how everything that happened 100 years ago ties into now is pretty cool.
Before it's too late.
They did a pretty good job with this game, with the story overall. Ironically, if you play through the other Legend of Zelda game on the Switch, it invalidates this entire story because of time traveling. But yeah, it's still cool. So there's a couple of ways you can get down. You can warp back to the Resurrection Temple, or you can just drop down on each one of the platforms here, which is what I'm going to do just to show you how. And you never need to climb this tower again. If you want to come back to the top, you can just warp up here. But dropping down here is pretty easy. As you get to later towers in the game, they space these pedestals out because you actually have to climb those towers. And we can just drop down to the floor. And our friend is back. No matter what you say in any of these, it doesn't change the story. You can change what you say or don't say to him. On my normal mode, I actually completed this game with 100%. I got all the temples, all the DLCs, all the everything. I got the classic Link outfit at the end, which was pretty cool. I love the motorcycle. It's so much fun, but it's hard to get. I was not gonna lie. I can't even imagine what it'll be like on Master Mode to do that kind of stuff. But we'll get there. Give me your paraglider. You have to follow this guy up here. That's a fair deal, I guess. So we gotta go check out that temple over there. So again, we want to avoid the enemies whenever possible because beating them is hard on Master Mode. So I'm just gonna run around and take my time. You'll notice if you run through the water-filled areas, sometimes you'll see treasures buried in the water or treasure chests that say EX on them. That's because I have the DLCs for this game, like that one right to the left right there, you can see it. But I don't have magnesis, you have to pull it out of the ground. But see, here's an example of an EX treasure. Let me just grab it real quick. Mostly they just give you like rubies and money and stuff, but they're always useful to grab when you see them. So now we need to go ahead and go into the first temple. When it says travel gate registered to map, that means we can now warp here. And you do that from the Sheikah Slate. So you don't actually have to walk back here if you want to come back. And we just have to wait for it to load. So we need to go ahead and go over to the pedestal over there and get our first skill called Magnesis. So we just gotta go ahead and cut through here. And go up these steps. And again, we use the magnesis to move the block. And we can clear a path with it. We can use it to push this guy out of the way here. Since he's obviously too tough to fight right now. Not that he's too tough, but I'm just gonna avoid him. And there's a bunch of ways you can do that. You can block him with blocks. You can pick up the slates, the doors that are laying on the ground there, and use that to keep him at bay, which is what I'll show you here too. I like to do this just to avoid these guys. You can block them in, and then you can't really hurt him. And we'll go ahead and pick this up here. So he hit me pretty hard, so if I block him, I'll wait till he shoots one more time. And then I could turn this real quick. Here, I can pop it over there, run, and jump. And we pull this door open. And we've finished this tempo out. We just talk to this guy and he'll give us a spirit orb. So the spirit orb goes inside us and we have it. Every time you get 4 spirit orbs, you can either boost your life or your stamina. So we've completed what the old man has asked us, and now he should give us the paraglider. That was our agreement. We'll see if he actually holds to it. Here he comes. He knows more than he's letting on. Ah, so he changed the terms of our deal. That wasn't the deal. So he's showing us how you can warp to different places. Instant travel, I call it warp. Alright. Let's go ahead and warp back to the top of the tower. So to do that, you just press A on the tower and then hit travel. And of course he's there waiting for us. So if you press down on the right Joy-Con controller, you can use your Sheikah Slate as like a telescope. See, there's a shrine right there, so if I go ahead and mark it. And there's another shrine. Go ahead and mark that one. And there's another one right there. We'll just mark it for good measure. That'll be our first visit, probably. You can do them in any order you want. I find it's best to do the easiest ones to get to first. So I'm gonna go ahead and warp back to the Shrine of Resurrection, so I don't have to climb down the tower again. And I can pick up some more food and stuff on the way. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go back outside. And we'll just double back the way we came. It's always best to check areas for food, because sometimes the food regenerates, like the Hylian shrooms and stuff will come back, depending on how many times you sit at a campfire or warp. So you can light that campfire right there if you have anything fire related, either arrows or a weapon like a flame sword or something like that. But given I don't have anything, we're just going to keep going. So again, we're going to do our best to avoid any kind of enemies. This was the castle from, I think it was Ocarina of Time. There's a guy. Our stamina is so low right now, so we have to be careful of that. And here we have to watch out for guardians when we get to the next area. I've already got those. It's always best to collect everything you find. You can always sell it later. So here we have to be careful because there are stationary guardians and more enemies. And there's a big guy over there, a lion all over there, so avoid him at all costs. We are not strong enough to beat them. So here we have to watch out for guardians coming to life. Like this one right here. I remember this, yep. So if you have the Hylian shield, which you get underneath the castle, later on in the game you can reflect their laser beams back at them. But right now we can't do that. So here's the temple. Shrine, temple, I call them temples. Okay, so we're down inside the temple shrine here. And here's where we get our bombs. This is the bomb trial. So you get two types of bombs, ones that roll and ones that don't. And if we activate this pedestal, which is what we're doing right now, it will distill a rune to our Sheikah Slate, which gives us the ability to use bombs. Later on in the game, you can actually get these skills beefed up, so you get like Bomb Plus, Magnesis Plus, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and use the bomb here to blow a hole open, so we can traverse through this shrine. So I just drop the bomb there, let it roll. You can also throw it. Boom. I have to go this way. There's probably a treasure chest in here. You have to wait for the bomb to recharge before you can use it. Oh, nice. Hopefully I won't have to use this at all, but we got a better sword. So this isn't too hard. Just throw the bomb like that. You can also put a remote bomb, just sit it on there, and then let it move over and blow them up that way. But just... Oh, there's one of those balls. I'm gonna go ahead and get the treasure chest here. Just stand here, let it shoot us over. Whee! So usually you put these in a pedestal somewhere. I actually don't remember where this one goes. May not even be used for anything in this temple shrine. So what we do here is you need to drop a bomb down this little pipe, and it will land in there and get flown over. And then you blow it up. Now you could just drop down, or you could do it the fun way, which I'll do the fun way. I don't think you use this ball for any, the glowing ball for anything in here anywhere. I can't remember there being anything for it. So we'll just go ahead and stand up on here, and we'll land and climb up the ladder, and that completes this shrine. I think the Breath of the Wild game definitely holds up in terms of graphics for one of the best visually appealing games that were ever made on Nintendo to date. Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to come out sometime in the next 100 years. So I'll be curious to see how that game is compared to this. I'm excited for it. So a little trick to get back this way, and I apologize, I keep coughing, is to just run around here and use the walls to avoid the guardians. And we're going to head back towards the Temple of Time. Now, the next two shrines are the harder ones to get to. We saw one right there. We actually have to traverse through some cold areas. And we don't have any kind of cold protection. So we're going to need to make sure we bring enough food with us to survive. There's a lion over there. I'm going to avoid him. So the trick to getting food in this spot is if you head around the Temple of Time and up towards the cold area, there's actually some like peppers and stuff that we can grab. So we'll go ahead and get them and we can cook them. And they give you more hearts back as you cook them. So we'll cook a bunch of them and bring them with us. And then we can do both at once. So we'll go ahead and go up this way here. Be on the lookout for bokoblins and stuff here because they come out of nowhere. There's one right there. So we're going to go ahead and go up this way here. You can see there's the little gate entrance to the colder areas. Some bats flying around. Okay, so I lied. I killed these guys, but I didn't have to. So I didn't get the paraglider without killing some enemies, but bats don't really count. So if you see up to the left there by the gate entrance, there are some plants growing out of the ground. And that is what we're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and grab those. Spicy peppers. These things are great for what we have to do next. So we can go over here and cook them on their fire, or we can use that pan thing they have there and make that light up with a torch or a stick. But I'm not really interested in that. So I got these guys coming after me. So I'm going to go ahead and walk back to the Shrine of Resurrection. And we will go ahead and cook these peppers on the fire by the old man. Now when you cook peppers on a fire, it does make the wind gust up, but we don't have a paraglider yet, so we'll have to catch some of the peppers probably. Certain foods, when you cook them, make an updraft out of the fire, and you can use that with your paraglider to get some height if you need it. Or once you get Gavali's Gale, it does the same thing. So we'll go ahead in here and hold our food. You'll learn later in the game if you mix certain monster parts with certain things, you can make better elixirs and some other stuff like that. But we don't have any of that yet. As you can see, it created the updraft, so my food blew away. Not all of it cooked. None of it did, actually. So let's go ahead and do it again here. That's alright, I don't need it. So, we're going to go back and see if we can score a little bit more. There's some apples here. Go ahead and knock the apples out of the tree. And we'll try and cook them here. The more food we have that's cooked, the better. Ah, there we go. So as you see, they catch on fire. And then they turn into baked apples, which gives you more health back. And we'll try it with these again. These create the updraft, so it's they don't all get cooked. There we go. So now we've got some charred peppers, which give us 3/4 of a heart back. And that should be good for traversing through the cold area. Let's try and cook these as well. one cooked. We'll pick up the torch. There's a charred pepper. See if there's anything else. I don't see anything. So if we go back this way now, we can come up on the backside of those enemies, and I'm going to try and score some of their food. Got it. Pick up some of these too. And we'll go ahead and warp back to the Shrine of Resurrection one more time. I like doing this repeatedly because it allows me to pick up as much food as I can without having to fight the enemies. I can avoid them. No, I think I have enough food to traverse the cold areas. Once you get into the higher elevations, you start to shiver, and your heart rate, the hearts go down by, I think it's like a quarter of a heart every couple of steps. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that. Try and hold. That cooked a couple of them. I think we'll sit by the fire till the morning. Alright, so we are ready to go to the other two shrines. So we're just going to go back the way we came before. Go up and around the Temple of Time again. I definitely think up until Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time was my favorite Zelda game. I beat that game so many times. So we go ahead and go up through this gate here, and we go into the colder areas where the snow is. And we have to get to those two shrines. So later on in the game, when you actually get warmer clothing, you can put it on, and you won't be affected by this damage. So as you can see, I lost half a heart. So we need to keep an eye on that. I think we'll go to the purple shrine first, the purple point on my map. I marked them with the Sheikah Slate, so... So we'll go ahead and eat some food here. We'll use up the Hylian shrooms. This part's not too hard. It's just a matter of getting there as quickly as you can and keeping an eye on your health. Obviously avoiding enemies too. Gonna avoid that little camp over there. So this path will allow us to drop down next to the shrine. We're going to come up actually above it. And if we look over it, we'll be right there. There it is. So the easiest way to get down there is just to climb the walls usually. I gotta heal here. So we'll see, we use a charred pepper. We get back some pretty good health. We're good now. And we're doing okay on food still. So, there we scale down the wall. You can just drop. You get hurt a little bit, but not big to do. Falling from heights hurts you. So you obviously have to be careful of that. Alright, shrine number 3. This is the stasis trial, so we get stasis. Stasis is great because you can use it to freeze some enemies. Not a whole lot at the initial onset, but when you get stasis plus in the future, you can use it to freeze most enemies, including guardians, I believe. So when you freeze an object, you can hit it, and then it'll build up kinetic energy, and you can send things flying. So we need to use stasis to stop this thing from spinning here. And then we need to use it on one of these giant boulders that are rolling. It's fun later on in the game. And if you watch them on YouTube, there are people who do stasis on things and then hold on to it. Like they'll use stasis on it and then hit it over and over again. And so that it builds up its kinetic energy. Then they'll hold on to it and it'll send them flying across the world. There's a lot of videos about that. Alright, so we stasis that boulder. And then we need to go this way. We can pick up this hammer here. The iron sledgehammer. And we should probably equip it. We'll use stasis on this ball as soon as it recharges. And then we can use kinetic energy. See, I can't push the ball. So we use stasis. And then we need to hit it a couple times. And it builds up its kinetic energy, which should be sufficient. And it will send the ball flying. There we go. And we have completed the third shrine. So now we have to traverse the cold areas again to get to the fourth and final shrine on the Great Plateau. I believe there are 125 shrines in the game with all the DLCs. I think there's 300 Korok seeds or something like that. So we need to go to our next location, which is marked red with the Sheikah Slate. These guys, see if they have anything useful, which it does not look like they do. I don't don't see anything. Throw a bomb, get them out of here. So a bomb will cause them to go flying, which will either knock them off the ledges, or you can use it to avoid. There is a treasure chest here. Let me grab it. Oh, that was weird. Okay. Definitely had a little glitch there, but alright. So now we're going to continue on our journey to the fourth and final shrine on the Great Plateau. So obviously we have to keep an eye on our health and avoid these guys. They'll stop following me eventually. I could throw a bomb over on those guys and blow them up, but I'd rather just get away from all these guys. I got this bokoblin chasing me here. And he gave up. Gotta watch for falling rocks around here, I remember this. We're almost there. We can do this. We're running out of food, but we're okay. Gotta go up this little mountain here. And we can use it to get to the final shrine. There's the final shrine. So we'll go ahead and slide down here. And then we can sneak around. Just gotta hit and heal up again. I'm doing okay on food. I'm getting a little low, but I think I'll make it. Only have to get there once. Getting by these guys is a little hard, but hopefully I can just run behind them and they'll won't. You could scale up the side, but with stasis, my stamina being as low as it is, I don't usually bother. You can climb up on that damaged building over there and then jump onto the rocks where that EX treasure is, but I'm not gonna bother. We're just gonna avoid these boulders that are wrong, and we'll run up the side of the hill here. Those are gone. These guys should only follow me for a minute. And we have reached the fourth and final shrine. We get Cryonis here, which allows you to build ice out of the water. So that is the final rune that we get. The last spot is the motorcycle, which you do not get until you play through most of the game and do the DLCs. So we go ahead and set up the rune, the Cryonis rune, right, you do it about right there. You'll know when you can build it because it'll raise up. And we have to do the same thing here. Now, if I remember right, there's a guardian around here, and we can use the room to kind of give us some protection against him. And then we'll raise this part up. Now you could raise this either side and just go up and around. I'm just going to raise it to the side. As you can see, there's another set of steps right over here. And we have completed the fourth and final shrine, requested by the old man. So we'll see if he actually holds up his end of the bargain. And he should appear to us. There he is. He tells us that if you imagine an X on the map with each corner of the X being a shrine, where they cross in the middle is where he'll be. So if we just imagine an X, if you look at all four of the shrines on your map, you need to go back to the Temple of Time. So we warp back to the Resurrection Temple. Shrine of Resurrection. And the X on the map makes the center point be the Temple of Time. So it's presumed the old man is there somewhere. I no longer see him sitting by the fire. As you can see, all four shrines make an X on the Temple of Time. So we're going to go ahead and go around. Remember, there were some enemies at the front entrance. And there's a ladder here. So inside the Temple of Time is one of the goddess statues that if you pray to it, you give your the stuff you got out of the shrines. Every time you get 4 of the stones, you can use them to increase your hit points or your stamina. So if we go ahead and run up across the roof here, as you can see, we're all the way up on the top. And our destination is right up there. Go ahead and climb up here, and we can see the old man waiting for us.
Well done there, young one. Now then, the time has come to show you who I truly am. I was King Rhombos.
He's the king of Hyrule.
I was the last leader of Hyrule, a kingdom which no longer exists.
Poor Link, he's always blinded.
The Great Calamity was merciless. It devastated everything in its path, a century ago. It was then that my life was taken away from me. And since that time, here I have remained in spirit form.
So he's stuck
I did not think it wise to
spirit
overwhelm
form
you while your
on the
memory
Great
was
Plateau.
still fragile. So rather than that, I thought it best to assume a temporary form. Forgive me. I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
So we'll hear another backstory. Link has no memory of any of this.
To know Calamity Ganon's true form, one must know the story from an age long past. The Demon King was born into this kingdom, but his transformation into malice created the horror you see now. Stories of Ganon were passed from generation to generation.
Many
Form
incarnations of
legends
Ganon.
Fairy tales.
There's Ganon, Ganondorf, all the different ones from the different games. Different versions of Link and Zelda.
The signs of a resurrection of Calamity
All basically been
Ganon are
resurrections.
clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground. We decided to heed
I
the
believe
voice
Breath of the Wild
and
2
began
is going to be
excavating large
Ganondorf,
areas of land.
but
It wasn't
that's
long
the only
before
one
we
I've seen
discovered
from
several
the
ancient
trailer
relics
that I watched.
made by the hands of our distant ancestors. These relics, the divine beasts, were giant machines piloted by warriors. We also
discovered
found
the-
the Guardians,
the Guardians
an army of
and the,
mechanical soldiers who fought
the weapons.
autonomously. This coincided with ancient legends oft repeated throughout our land. We also learned of a
Ganon was
princess
smart.
with a
He
sacred
actually
power,
turned the Guardians
and her
against
appointed knight, chosen
Hyrule,
by the sword that sealed
and he took
the
control of
darkness.
them.
It
And
was
they never
who sealed
anticipated
Ganon
that would
away
occur.
using the power of these ancient relics. 100 years ago, there was a princess set to inherit a sacred power and a skilled knight at her side. It was clear that we must follow our ancestors' path. We selected 4 skilled individuals from across
Divine
Hyrule
beasts, there's 4
and
of
tasked
them.
them with the duty of piloting the divine beasts. With the princess as their commander, we dubbed these pilots champions, a name that would solidify their unique bond. The princess, her appointed knight, and the rest of the champions were on the brink of sealing away Ganon. But nay. Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan beyond our imagining.
He was smart. He turned their own weapons against them.
He appeared from deep below Hyrule Castle, seized control of the Guardians and the divine beasts, and turned them against us. The champions lost their lives, those residing in the castle as well. The appointed knight, gravely wounded, collapsed while defending the princess. And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon. However, the princess survived to face Ganon alone.
Link, you are our final hope. The fate of Hyrule rests with you.
That princess was my own
So
daughter.
Zelda sealed Ganon inside the
dear
castle where he's
Zelda.
been for 100 years, but he's growing stronger
And the courageous knight
and is
protected
getting ready
her
to
right
break
up to
out.
the very end.
So we have to stop him.
That knight was none other than you, Link. You fought valiantly when your fate took an unfortunate turn. And then, you were taken to the Shrine of Resurrection. Here you now stand, revitalized 100 years later. The words of guidance you have been hearing since your awakening are from Princess Zelda herself. Even now, as she works to restrain Ganon from within Hyrule Castle, she calls out for your help. However, my daughter's power will soon be exhausted. Once that happens, Ganon will freely regenerate himself, and nothing will stop him from consuming our land. Considering that I could not save my own kingdom, I have no right to ask this of you, Link.
Link can do anything. He's the man.
But I am powerless here. You must save her, my daughter, and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon. Somehow, Ganon has maintained control over all 4 divine beasts, as well as those guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle. I believe it would be quite reckless for you to head directly to the castle at this point. I suggest that you make your way east out to one of the villages in the wilderness. Follow the road out to Kakariko Village. There you will find the Elder Impa. She will tell you more about the path that lies ahead. Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise location of Kakariko Village. Make your way past the twin summits of the dueling peaks.
Getting Kakariko
From there,
isn't
follow
hard.
the
It's just a
road
lot
as
of
it
running
proceeds north.
and avoiding enemies, the usual. Oh, we get the paraglider. Yay. He kept his word. Okay, well, hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. Basically, I started out Breath of the Wild in Master Mode, got through the first 4 shrines, and we have acquired the paraglider from King Rahom. And now he's telling us we have to save Hyrule. The rest is up to us. So let's go ahead here and grab this treasure chest. First bow. And we can jump off here, press X to glide, and we'll drop down. So I would thank everyone for watching this video. Please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to see more of Breath of the Wild in Master Mode, please drop a comment on the video and let me know. Thanks everybody, I'll see everyone soon.